Now we're going to take the Ayinger Pilsner and compare it against the Brooklyn Pilsner. I think the Brooklyn Pilsner had 3 wins and 1 loss against the other 3 Pilsners that I've compared it to. The Ayinger is 2-0. I could be wrong. I have to go back and look at the videos. Ayinger is rated at 91 on Beer Advocate. It has an ABV of 5.3. This is a pretty good Pilsner. 91 is considered outstanding. It does have some bitterness to it, and as I recall, the Brooklyn Pilsner was pretty sweet, very well balanced, flavorful, rated at 83 on Beer Advocate, and has an ABV of 5%. I've got a cigar here that I'll be smoking with these beers to see how that affects the flavor. This is an acid cigar. Blondie, Blue Label. It's a nice, flavorful cigar. Now, taking a look at these, this one appears to be slightly darker than the Aying. I'm not really picking up much of an aroma with the Aying, nor am I picking up much of a flavor with the Brooklyn Pilsner. So I'll do this blindfolded. Let's mix these up. Damn it! I'm trying not to keep track, but I am. I think I still know which is which. All right, now I'll try this one. The aroma is so faint that I can barely detect it. This one has some sweetness, but some upfront bitterness, which almost instantly cancels out any sweetness that it has. So how do I describe this? There's not much fruitiness to it. Very little in fruit flavor, so I can't use any fruits to describe it. I could maybe say florally and grassy, but not overwhelmingly in either case. I would say that the flavor is the hops. Okay. This one appears to be slightly stronger in the same type of flavor that this one has. Kicked up maybe about a half a notch. This one is like drinking this one, but this one is just a tad bit stronger. There's some, maybe a grassy finish. Some people describe these beers as having a bread flavor. So let's see if I can pick that up. Breadiness, let's see. Yeah, it could be there. I think breadiness would be natural, since the way they make these beers. Originally, the earliest beers were made, in some cases, using bread or bread-type ingredients. And as the beer-making process evolved and the ingredients changed, they still retain some of that original methods and ingredients. These beers are so similar that it's difficult to pick a winner. And I still don't know which one is which. I do now, I think. Because I can see the tape on the bottom of my glass of this one, so this is the Aying. Yep. I'm going to put this over here. So let's try it after some cigar here. So I believe that I said that the Brooklyn Lager It's like drinking the Aying, but a little bit stronger, which is giving it the edge so far. We got some bitterness. No. Well, all lagers and pilsners have sweetness, but the sweetness isn't prominent. I mean, if you drink a beer like Pabst Blue Ribbon, that's what I call the Kool-Aid of beers. It's sweet and hardly any hop flavor at all, any hop bitterness that you can detect. So as these beers start to warm up, start to go a little bit flat, the flavor is going to change a bit. Now, up front, when they were cold, straight out of the can or bottle, I think I would have to give it to the Brooklyn Pilsner. Well, the Brooklyn Pilsner is an American beer, so I don't have to say Pilsner. I could say Pilsner. But Ayinger is a German beer. It is a Bavarian Pils. It's classified as a German Pilsner. The Brooklyn beer is classified as an American lager on Beer Advocate. However, where I bought it at Total Wine, and they had it classified as either a German Pilsner or a Czech Pilsner. I can't remember which one it was. Which is why I bought it. Or, well, that's not why I bought it. I bought it because it was a Brooklyn Pilsner, and I've had the Brooklyn Lager. And the Brooklyn Lager I enjoyed very much. I've also had the Brooklyn Blast, which I can't remember what type of beer that was, and that was a good beer too. So when I saw the Brooklyn Pilsner, which I might have had before, I thought, these Brooklyn beers are pretty good. Brooklyn Brewery. They make some decent beers. So let's just see how this Brooklyn Pilsner compares against some German and Czech Pilsners. And it has performed very well. This is a good beer. It's rated at 83 on Beer Advocate, which is eight points lower than the Aying, which is kind of surprising. Why it's not rated higher, I don't know. But I don't rate them. You know, this is an aggregate score from people, or I think what they call the bros on Beer Advocate. I don't know who the bros are. So I think I might have to drink these almost to the end before I can really pick a winner here. So that taste, I have to give it to the Aying, because this one had that cologne type of finish to it, although not nearly as bad as the Pilsner Urquell. Quite bitter. Just a tick weaker. So far, it's my initial impressions are still holding up. This beer looks stronger than the flavor. I mean, it's like the same beer, but this one is kicked up a notch or two, maybe a half a notch. That's quite good. But I think I'm preferring the Ayinger. In that taste, the Ayinger was better when I chased it that way. I tell you, if you sat down and tried to compare a couple of beers that are very similar, and you don't know what you're talking about, like me, you might have a very difficult time in trying to pick which one you like better. I just don't know how to describe that finish. Grassy? I wouldn't say florally, because when I think of the word floral, I think of flowers. And I've never tasted a flower, so I have no idea what they taste like. So I don't know if I could ever use that as a description. And I don't know what grass tastes like either. But I'm thinking grass is bitter. I'm going to go ahead and call this for the Aying. It's slightly weaker in taste. But at this point, it's the beer that I would prefer to have another one of. So, what we have here, we have 3 wins, 2 losses. I don't know, against 3 wins. No, this is only 4 beers. 2 wins and 2 losses, I think. Or maybe, yeah, it did lose once, and I think it might have lost against the tank. Plato, I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at my videos, but Ayinger is 3-0 now. So out of these 5 Pilsners, Aying is coming up top, and we have 1 more to go. Aying is going to go up against Palate and Pils. And that's a pretty good beer. But it, I think, has 2 wins and 2 losses. I can't remember. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Aying 3-0 so far. Brooklyn Pilsner, a damn good beer. I'll drink it any time. But between the two, I think I would prefer the Aying. I guess there's one more thing I can do, which I've done in other videos, and that's mix the 2 beers. We have about 50% Aying here and 50% Brooklyn Pilsner. So let's just mix them together. But these beers are so similar. It's going to be... Now I got some aroma. That's what you get when you stir up some foam, you get aroma, I think. I don't really judge beers on aroma because it's the taste that matters. So that all my criterion when it comes to picking a beer is how it tastes. Which one do I like drinking better? I really don't care how much they smell or what they smell like, although I'm not too crazy about the skunkiness in some beers. Because usually, if it has a skunky smell, it has a bit of a skunky flavor. And I've noticed that in beers that come in green bottles. I think that beers that come in green bottles filter the light in a different way, and light and heat can destroy a beer. So when you get a beer in a green bottle that's been sitting around for a while, the longer it sits, the more skunky it's going to get. And a lot of times I've gotten Heineken, and I've noticed that it's always been skunky, at least in the green bottle versions. Probably you don't get that in the cans. So the mixture of the two, is pretty good, and I can't really decide whether it is better than either beer individually or worse. It's got that same grassy, that bitter finish. Let's see, is it a dry finish? No, it's not necessarily dry. Grassy. Or I guess you could say hoppy. I guess that's what hops taste like in the finish. When you have the certain type of hops, the bitterness. A lot of hops they use in things like IPA, the types of hops, I think, give it a citrusiness. But the hops that they use in European beers, especially in Germany and the Czech Republic, Saaz hops and Hallertau hops are what they call noble hops. I read that there are 4 noble hops. And this has one of them. This is the Hallertau hops. I'm not sure what type of hops that the Brooklyn has. Layers of clean malts with a balanced wave of bright hops, crowned by an instant refreshing finish. Light, toasty flavors and spicy, subtle citrus hop notes make it an instant classic. Citrusiness, what they describe for the Brooklyn Pilsner. Well, this is a mixture, but maybe a weak type of orange peel finish to it. That could be it. Orange peel. I've eaten orange peel before, and it's not that great. It's bitter. It's a little bit citrusy. So maybe that could be a description that I can use to describe beers in the future. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a beer connoisseur. I'm not a beer expert. And as I said before, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just trying to describe this as a layman. So I compare these beers as a layman to see which beer I like better. And it doesn't necessarily follow that if I like a beer better than another beer, that you will. But I will try to give you a description here of what I think, in my opinion, completely subjective. Although I try to make it as accurate as possible. So, again, time to finish this up. Thanks.